Buying your first house is incredibly daunting. It's certainly more daunting than buying your first car, and even more daunting than buying your first beer. Put simply, it's a mammoth undertaking, with a lot of what ifs, what ares, and even more what in the hells. Never fear though, we've put together a handy dandy list to make sure your first house is a dream house, not a scream house. Make sure you're prepared to buy a house, and not just financially, but emotionally too. Of course, it goes without saying you need a good chunk of pocket money, but you'll also need nerves of steel, or at least a passable steel substitute. You need to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And if you don't, take the time to learn by reading an article or watching a video, just like this one. In fact, you're off to a great start. As a great philosopher once said, wait till you get your money right. Meet with multiple bankers and mortgage brokers at the very start of the process, as they will give you the best idea of what size dream house you can realistically afford. And trust us, you don't have to borrow the max amount you are offered just because you can. Borrowing more money than you can afford will quickly turn that dream house into a scream house. You need a superhero realtor. I'm not saying you should check under their suit for a costume. I'm saying you need a dependable, reliable, quick-moving realtor and a mortgage professional to match. Trust me, you do not want any weak links in your dream house buying chain. When it comes to viewings, look at the big picture. I don't mean find the biggest painting in the house and stare at it. I'm saying don't get hung up on the little details. Don't like their wallpaper? You can change the wallpaper. Think their TV's too small? The TV doesn't come with the house anyway, silly. The bigger details are more fixed though. It's a lot harder to add a garage or a wine cellar to a house after it's already built. As you tour each property, focus on the bigger picture. That being said, don't forget to check for the obvious issues. Unless you're an entomologist, you should be running a mile from signs of infestation. Also be wary of things like leaky roofs and wood rot. Basically anything that screams, "Hey, this house is falling apart," you should watch out for. Of course, all of this should be carried out by a professional home inspector, but try catching the obvious issues yourself before you get the big guns in. Form your own neighborhood watch. I'm not talking about the lies they post on signs to scare burglars. I'm saying actually go to your chosen neighborhood and see if it's the kind of place you'd like to live. Be sure to visit at different times of day to get an idea of what living there might be like. That dream suburb might be a little bit more screamy once the kids are out of school. Be neighborly. That's right, before you even become a real neighbor, you should practice being neighborly. I know, talking to strangers is just awkward and nerve-wracking and just honestly downright awful. But try using those steely nerves I mentioned earlier and talking to your new neighbors to get the scoop on what it's really like to live in the area. Well, those are our top tips to make sure you buy a dream house and not a scream house. When it comes to moving homes, we've got your back from A to B, so check out the rest of our site for more.